So to manifest this person, I thought about every relationship I had and that moment when it was really special. I imagine this one in particular with somebody I had just met. We were at the movies and our faces were touching. We were just so in love. And I was like, I love the way that felt. I felt it for a couple of minutes and I let it go. And then a few weeks later, I meet somebody at a Halloween party and it starts to go pretty well. 2 weeks later, I find myself in a theater in that same like, oh my gosh, I like you so much. And I thought, wow, look how fast that comes. Felt like perhaps he was vetted from the universe. I told him kind of that story. I said, you're literally a wish come true. Like I wished for you and here you are. And it was going very, very fast. And just out of nowhere, it exploded. And I was heartbroken. And I was like, why would you, I thought, vet this person that I wished for and then have it blow up in my face? It made me feel like I just want to be small. It broke my heart. But Abraham, how many times can I fall on my face? How do I get excited about the next one?
Manifestations hardly ever hold. Nothing that you've ever created is going to stand and sustain itself. There have to be more creations in the pipeline. Your juices have to continue to flow. Keep the juices flowing, because it's the juices flowing that keep you in that place of receptiveness where you can know what your guidance is telling you and whether this impulse is something that will serve you in a positive way or will be something that will cause a negative manifestation. You fell back into a lackful mode when something that you thought that you wanted came and then it didn't stick around. We understand that feeling of disappointment, but then you forgot everything you know about the laws of the universe. Manifestations feel real and like they should be talked about. You feel as humans like you should objectify anything that is reality, and the reality should be examined. And that is your downfall, because when you examine the components of reality that are not pleasing you, you practice a vibrational momentum that makes it easy for you to get something that you don't care about and difficult for you to get something that you do care about. You know our deal. You know what we want to hear from you. You know the words that we are looking forward to hearing from you. And yet, once you got on that sort of rampage of disappointment, you could hardly stop yourself, because that's where the momentum is.
That's what I've been feeling. And I want to stop. There's just a block.
But it's not an immovable block. Have you ever watched water moving, finding its natural course? And when it comes to an obstruction, it doesn't need to knock the obstruction down. It just takes the path of least resistance. It finds another way to go in the direction of what it wants to do. Soften the discord by going as general as you can. I have more opportunity to work more of the bugs out, more opportunity to really discover who I am, more opportunity to not care so much what others are thinking around me, more opportunity to flow the energy and not be so aware of how others are responding to the energy that I'm flowing. I'm getting ready to be ready for it. And when I'm ready, the evidence will show itself to me. I appreciate how the universe brings me an exact replica of whatever I've got going on vibrationally, so that I can see it, so that I can take the hit of it, so that I can feel the disappointment of it, so that I can take the bounce of it, so that I can launch the rocket of it, so that I can begin again from a very beginning place of generality. But you were talking with us, and you were not going general. You went fully into the disappointment phase, so much so that the audience went, oh. Evidence of disappointment, you see. And so when you start finding yourself moving in the direction that if you let it keep going, it's going to end up with an oh, then catch it in the early subtle stages.
And just say these things happen.
I collected data.
I did collect data.
I collected data. Somebody that feels that way about me, in other words, he was really not ready for what I am knowing. That is something that maybe would have come about, but I'm getting ready for what I really want. And maybe you pushed the manifestation too soon. Maybe that readiness is in the process of becoming, but it doesn't matter, because it will come about again and again and again and again and again. You cannot be denied something that you want, but you can prolong it, you can hold it off, you can postpone it by your thoughts that don't let it in. It is that and only that, you see. And you know what constitutes the majority of your thoughts that don't let it in? Your observation of what is. We want you to be happy anyway. We want you to find a way of feeling fulfilled anyway. We don't want you to hang your star on something that you can't control. You talk like that's the last man on earth, like that's the last opportunity that you're ever going to have.
Is it safe to go back to the memories that were happy? Like, does that generate where you're thinking that's like just wipe it all away?
Do you feel how reluctant you are to let go of what you've been doing that isn't working?
Well, that I thought did work. I mean, I remembered this, and then somebody came, but then they went away. What? No. They did come.
You
It
see,
worked.
what they just reflected back to you, they just channeled their own inner beings. And what they reflected back to you is what you're doing vibrationally. It doesn't matter what the words or the actions are. They reflected back to you the mood. You got to get over being disappointed before you can start the momentum toward what you want. You got to get over being lonely before you can start the momentum toward what you want. You got to get over feeling like it's not fair before you can get something that you want. Everything that we're talking about, we're trying to get you to a neutral zone, to this place where the resistance is all finally at bay, where you can wake up in the morning and start thinking some thoughts that are getting you in the direction of what you do want. This will help you a lot. Your inner being never looks back. So your inner being is not trying to mine anything that went anyway before in order to give you something now. Your inner being's not looking back. Your inner being's only looking forward. And so when you look back, it's almost always a minefield. Almost always. The subject has to be your happiness, not a relationship that you think is the path to your happiness. The subject is happiness. Just got to be happy, not happy with this ulterior motive. I want to be happy, universe, with a person. All conditional living means is trying to fast forward into a manifestation to examine the conditions. Unconditional living, unconditional love, unconditional life is going for the emotion and never mind the way it's going to manifest. You just know it's going to be good when it does. Do you know, when you are in a nose-to-nose love affair with the love of your life and you think that what's happening is that person is loving you, what's really going on is you are loving that person. What's really going on is you're finding endless things about that person that your inner being agrees with. So it's just constant focusing yourself into alignment and using that person as the excuse. And you know, you could use 100 people and their best qualities to do exactly the same thing. And you could let those 100 people help you tune to what you want. And then someone who holds all of those manifested already or potential to manifest qualities that you have trained yourself to be active in your vibration make their way into your experience. Want it generally, and then let the desire for it gather momentum. We're suggesting that you start such as, I'm living happily ever after, and the universe is yielding to me on so many fronts. And I really believe that whatever I want on any subject can come to me. And there's evidence of what I'm wanting coming to me in many, many ways. And I'm looking forward to the discovery of more and more avenues through which well-being can flow to me. And I'm certain that I have all kinds of desire that is lined up for me, that's in my vortex, that's being yielded to me. And I believe that the universe is yielding more to me than I'm maybe even able to receive. And I'm getting better and better at receiving it. And I really like understanding the laws of the universe. And I like the idea of being a deliberate creator. And I so like deliberately creating among others who are deliberately creating. It's so fun to meld my mind with others. And it is so much fun to watch the universe bring to me the cooperative components of what I'm looking for. The universe knows who I am and what I want relative to all topics. And even relative to this topic of companionship or partnership. The universe knows who I am and what I want. The universe has been watching my expansion and evolution. The universe knows exactly where I am. The universe knows if I'm keeping my own promise to myself. And therefore it is illogical to me that the universe would not already have worked out cooperative components to co-create with me on many fronts. Companionship is just a really natural thing on all subjects. There really isn't anything that I ever really do alone. There are almost always others around that I can bounce off of or that I can respond to in some way. With a general desire, you'll have less resistance in it. And law of attraction will cause that general desire to pick up speed. So it'll get more and more until you'll end up with a very healthy desire and no resistance, and then manifestations that are going to pop into your experience all over the place.